Hello and welcome to 5 Minute Bitcoin, where we onboard the masses 5 minutes at a time so you don't have to. In today's episode, I'd like to talk about the recent interviews with a couple of billionaires who used to be bullish on Bitcoin but have recently flipped, and I'd like to give my reaction to their recent comments. The first billionaire, who years ago was super bullish, Chamath Palihapitiya. I'm going to play a little video here, and then afterwards I'm going to give you my reaction. So without further ado.
There's a structural failing in Bitcoin that I think people will need to come and wrap their heads around. The structural failing is that it is not. So if you think about like what is the value maximizing function right now for a crypto asset to be broadly adopted, it needs to have the features that allow a central bank to adopt it. And there are two things that it lacks. One is fungibility and two is privacy. And so Bitcoin fails on those two dimensions. So it can never be a structural holding of a central bank. And that simple thing will keep it in the realm of ETFs and humans. And
does gold satisfy those conditions?
Yeah.
Fungibility, but not easily.
Both. You have no idea how much the Bank of China owns. You don't know how many ounces they own. You don't know how many ounces I own. When there's a public ledger that says this address has this much, and you can't really trade it because you know the history and the provenance of that exact token. It's been used to buy this. It was transacted over here. It went to this wallet. That lack of fungibility and privacy is a huge deterrent for broad structural adoption.
Okay. First of all, he lacks a fundamental understanding of Bitcoin. And I kind of suspected that years ago. I would see him in an interview and he would talk about Bitcoin, but he would never go into too much detail. So I thought maybe he was just parroting, like a lot of these people do. They go with the trend so that they can, expand their branding and be on, get some TV exposure. He says that a central bank will never adopt it because it's not fungible or private. He completely misses the fact that Bitcoin was built to destroy central banks or force them into adoption. And when they adopt it, that privacy feature becomes an asset. It's not privacy, it's called transparency. We, the people, should know what the government is doing with the money. And by having it on a public ledger, that's a good thing. Chamath says that's a bad thing. And he conflates private ownership of Bitcoin with a government central bank ownership of Bitcoin. So he lacks a fundamental understanding, or he's either in denial or lying. Now, why would he be in denial or tell a lie about it? Well, he's a billionaire. He's built his wealth on a system, the legacy system that's based in fiat and the current banking system, and he's starting to feel the pressure. He may consciously or subconsciously understand that he's coming to a crossroads with respect to his allocation to Bitcoin. He has that in common with another guy that we're going to speak about here in a moment. We're going to watch another video of another guy who was a bull and now is flipped. And they share several things in common, but most notably, number one, they both flipped. Number two, they're both billionaires. And well, number three, they both have a fundamental misunderstanding or a lack of understanding of the basic principles of the Bitcoin and what it does. So with respect to Chamath, I don't know if he's FUDing the market so that he can capitalize on it like a lot of guys are doing. Or he just, I tend to think he just has a general lack of understanding of what Bitcoin does. and it may be, his understanding may be fear-based. He's coming to a crossroads. They all are. All the wealth in the world is coming to a crossroads where they're going to have to consider allocating to Bitcoin. Now, the next guy is Stanley Druckenmiller, wildly successful investor, billionaire. He's recently come out after years of being a bull. He's flipped in the same week. So let's watch this video.
Crypto?
I said this a long time ago, and I'm going to say it again.
No, he didn't say it a long time
It's
ago.
a solution looking for a problem. I'm very sad that it ever happened as a store of value because it wasn't needed, but it's a brand and these people love it, so it's going to be a store of value.
He just contradicted himself. He said it's not a store of value, but people are using it as a store of value. That is one property of Bitcoin, that it's a store of value. And one could argue that it is an incredible, if your timeline has been 15 years, Bitcoin has been a wonderful store of value. If you're looking for short-term gains and you're not trading, well then you've got to be a 3, 5, 6 year holder. Just like anything else, if you're a short-term flipper, yeah, it's not going to be a store of value because the volatility. Guys, if you're watching this channel, you realize that the volatility of Bitcoin is a virtue. It's not a it's it's not a bug. We like the especially if you're a guy who is trying to get to 1 Bitcoin, these dips are allowing you to do some serious dollar cost averaging. And if you've gone down the rabbit hole and done your 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours of research on Bitcoin and you understand it, well, then you can plainly see that these two guys are either FUDing the market for their own gain, or they just lack a fundamental understanding of what it does. And I think a lot of that lack of understanding it could be fear-based because they are guys that have built their wealth. Again, they're guys that have built their wealth on a legacy system that they don't want to see disrupted. And Bitcoin is here to kick the damn door down. Trust me. The store of value comment that he made is telling me a couple of things. He doesn't understand Bitcoin, or he lost his ass on a trade. Okay? Because he couldn't hold it. He bought into the fear and he probably sold low. And a lot of guys did that. They don't have the time horizon aspect down yet. And so they're looking for that 1 year gain or 2 year gain. It's not going to happen. There's a lot of volatility and there's a cycle. Some people talk about a 4 year cycle. Some people are now talking about a 5 year cycle. But these two guys used to be big bulls. They have flipped. And I got a feeling you're going to start to see a lot more of these guys pick a side. You've got your Larry Finks and your Michael Saylors on one side. They're buying Bitcoin like crazy. And then you've got Schiff, that gold bug, and you've got these two guys. And there's been a couple of guys lately who used to be bulls that have flipped. And I believe that Bitcoin is finally coming to that adoption crossroads where some of these guys who have built their wealth in the legacy system, they're going to have to make a decision. Central banks are going to have to make a decision. That's what Bitcoin does. It forces your hand. And, for you guys out there that are trying to get to the 0.5 or the 1.0, the whole Bitcoin, don't let these guys discourage you. They have issues that they're dealing with uh, because they're firmly based in a legacy system and they don't want to see a disruption. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Guys, thanks for joining me today. If you've gotten anything out of the video today, if I helped you put your mind at ease a little bit about what's going on with these whales, so to speak, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, tick the little bell for future updates, share this to your friends and family. This is a channel, I've gone way long today, but usually we're averaging about 5 minutes. So that's why we call the channel 5-Minute Bitcoin. If you've got someone that has been recalcitrant or been resistant to the orange pilling that you've tried to do, bring them to me. Let me drag them down the rabbit hole 5 minutes at a time. That's why I'm here. Tell them to start at episode 1 and follow each episode at their leisure. And they'll get a fundamental understanding of not just Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain technology, but the history of money, the banking system, how politics shaped our financial world, and so on. My name is Frederick Mann. This is 5-Minute Bitcoin. And I would like to remind you to dollar cost average, hodl, and self-custody your Bitcoin. God bless. This is a financial literacy channel, not financial advice.